What is going on, guys? It is your boy Cali Mac on the track. Now we're bringing it back, and we are back with Strawhat Sitdown episode 145. I hope, right?
I hope so too.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't check before. I probably should have, but I'm going off my gut here, so I'm gonna assume that I'm right.
You are. Let's go.
Let's go.
That's the captain, man.
You feel me? No Cam again, unfortunately, having technical difficulties, but my crew is here with me, holding it down the same way, so it's all good. Strat, in the building, my brother. What's going on, family?
What's good, y'all? What's good? Nothing much, just chilling. Oh yeah, by the way, we're sponsored by Popeyes right now.
Yo. Imagine.
And funny enough, we just found out that Canada has a Popeye, so
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Stay woke, you feel me?
We have KFC too, in case you're wondering about that. That was also a revelation that happened before the episode started.
Now you gotta make that the clip because they gotta have the context now.
Yeah, part 1, part 2. You know how they do on there.
Yeah, but nah, we good though. Everything's good. Happy that we got a chapter, so I'm happy to explore it.
Yes, it's chapter time. We're back.
Finally.
Yep.
We have been waiting forever, man. It's lit, man. Oh, you know what? Last but not least, why? Because I was about to go right into it. I'm so excited.
Man. About to be like,
11:36. Yo, I'm excited as fuck. Why is though? What's going on, my brother?
Yo, I'm chilling, man. I just realized the title of the episode, which is hilarious. I'm absolutely vibing. It was a great chapter. My quote tweet for the live tweet was that chapter week and life has meaning again because it's facts. So we are truly back, and I'm excited. That's really all I have to say. Let's get it.
Yes. We are finally back. It has been a long time, but we have a new chapter. This one has had a lot of discussion over the past week. Yeah, let's just get into it. Let's do it. Let's just do it. Try to get some pretext, but let's just dive right in. Fuck it.
Right.
Chapter 1136, The Land That Awaits the Sun.
The title alone, I was like, oh, we're about to talk about something crazy.
Yeah, you can tell, especially from the title, 100%.
Definitely.
Now we have for the cover art. So they captured and defeated person whose name escapes me. The dude that they were fighting in the last cover art.
Damn, I remember it yesterday.
That Otama but I remember Otama just beating the shit out of this. Hold'em.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So they captured Hold'em after Otama just beat the shit out of him.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to the goat girl, and they have made it to a mysterious base deep in Udon. The head of the base is obviously in resemblance of Who's Who.
I couldn't believe this.
So
yeah, I told you. Hey, I said it could be like Kaido's crew. I said that.
Yeah, I think you might have even said Flying Six, something like that.
I said it could have been Jack because we still didn't hear about him either. So I don't know, but this is wild.
It's confirmation that at least it's got to be at least Who's Who. Do you guys think all the Flying Six are still in here kicking it?
I mean, I hope they didn't fuck up that bad and rounded them all up. You can't have them walking around free. Yeah. So I think it might just be Who's Who, especially because I don't know if they would all stay in a place that has Who's
Who's face on it. Yeah.
I just hate that it's this piece of shit. But I hope hopefully we don't see it for too long.
Right.
Yeah. I'm assuming that he gets a swift defeat. I don't see him taking.
I'm about to say Yamato is she's clearing.
Yeah, but it's also Oda, so I wouldn't be surprised if this tricks up his sleeve that may lead to some more conflict or challenges, obstacles. We gotta see more. That's all it is with these cover stories. We wait for the next volume. Into the actual chapter. We start off at the party. We got Luffy eating meat. What else is new? I believe.
I'm sorry. It's funny.
I believe this is the meat that Harudijin had carried up to the Sun Village when he was hunting in the underworld.
Yeah, and I like that Luffy says it tastes like dinosaur because that's what Dorian Broggy ate with him when at Little Garden, right? They were killing dinosaurs and eating them. So
That's smart. That's smart.
I like
Nice.
that little callback.
That is a nice callback.
Oh,
Yeah. So Hirudein, the king. Well, I forgot. What is this dude's name again? The king.
I think this is Yorul, maybe.
Yorul.
Like Jorul. Yeah, Yorul.
Yo, where's Mister? Because I know Yorul. I feel like that's
Oh,
that has
probably
something. That's something
yeah.
in Greek mythology. Like that name sounds so familiar. If Mister was here, he would know.
Yeah.
Yorul.
Okay, but Yorul is also thanking Hirudein for the meal. Talking about how dangerous it is to normally obtain it. Hirudein just talks about how he'd risk anything for the man who saved his life. Talking about Luffy. And then we get some lore from Yorul, talking about how humans don't often make it to the sun world, how they normally only get to the underworld, and just assume that that's all of Elbaf and end up running away.
Honestly, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
We then cut to them talking about Oars. This part confused me a little. Maybe you guys can help me out. They talk about how Oars was a vicious warrior. Story had been passed down through history. Oh, okay, no, this is a cut. See, when I first read it confused me because it was kind of abrupt.
Yep.
From you talking to Yorul to this, but this is them talking to Usopp, and Usopp basically proclaiming that he killed Oars or whatever. And
it's also like I think it's also in like the middle of a conversation too. Like,
right, because like they're in the middle of talking about the underworld, and they just cut to the format confused me a little bit. Now I'm here. So we get another classic Usopp live. Usopp claiming that he took down Oars by himself, getting all the applause as Captain Usopp. And it's basically is the rest of this page, and the next is the Giants remarking on the Straw Hats. They don't see that many humans in general, let alone famous Yonko crew like the Straw Hats.
Yeah, I will say they like Zoro kind of like harps on it later about like their points here are like very almost like secluded, like or like what's the word I'm looking for when a kid
isolated.
Is, yeah, isolated is another good word. Like it's like how do you not know if fishmen really exist and they have blue skin, or some of them have blue skin, or mermaid? You know, I feel like it seems like they've been kind of sheltered a little bit, which is interesting. I guess maybe I might have to do with their new peaceful lifestyle or whatever.
It also makes sense too, just because I mean, if you look at it geographically, I mean, Fishman Island is pretty far?
Halfway across the world, yeah.
Yeah, like it's, and you know, Elbaf is pretty deep into the New World, so they never have a reason to go there. You know what I mean? Like most of the pirates that come from the new, I mean, not the New World, but the Grand Line, they're crossing over that way, so they're gonna run into them, but these guys never have a reason to go that way because they're already in the New World. So it doesn't surprise me. Plus, on top of that, like you were saying, they're isolated from everybody. They have to do trade to get certain news or newspapers sometimes or whatever, so they keep up with what's going on. So yeah, it makes sense to me, honestly.
Right, and we know already that the prior king was trying to develop more relations and connect Elbaf to the outside world. He got killed mid going through that. So I guess this would be the ramifications of that, if anything. But yeah, so they're commenting on Jinbei, how his skin is blue, how they've never seen a mermaid, commenting on Sanji being cute little human, which of course he is groveling over. Sanji the goat, man.
Fact.
Comment on Brook and his skeleton appearance, to which he starts singing. Yeah, and this is where Zoro remarks he's kind of surprised at how many giants have never gone to sea. We then get Rodo, just pops up out of nowhere on Nami and Zoro and just beaten and bruised, and apologizes to the best of his ability. He's obviously completely fucked up here.
Yeah, someone gave him to work again.
Yeah. Yeah, so he apologizes. Zoro says don't even worry about it. Because I would have killed you anyway, so it don't even matter.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, that panel is hard. The way Zoro just looks up, like, if not for that, your head would have left your shoulders. Don't even worry about it. And then this is where Roto realizes the true extent of the Straw Hat's abilities. He definitely did not know what he was getting into when he captured them.
Yeah, he put himself in mortal danger.
Yeah, literally.
For no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then Zoro says he would have cut his head off. Gerd says next time he tries to do something, just go ahead and do it. It's fine.
That was wild. I was like, damn. I don't know what the respect levels of him in their crew is. Like, damn, if y'all feel like that, I'm surprised he's even in y'all crew. Like,
I was gonna say is I'm surprised that he would stay, but we get it in the same panel. He's like, my Jared, why would you do that? And then right underneath he's like, oh, this is so stimulating. Like, it's obviously a freak. So
yeah, super.
Yeah.
mm.
He goes on to talk about his dream, or a dream that's also held by everybody in Elbaf, that they all wish to be the sun god and rule the world. Zoro remarks on sun god because I'm pretty sure he was there. Was he there in the lab when they were? I don't think he was. I don't remember.
No,
yeah,
he was on the
ship. Yeah.
He was on the ship. Okay, so he wouldn't know necessarily, but
he's the thinker right now.
Yeah, he is the thinker. He's pondering. This is when the giants start getting into an argument about exactly who or what the sun god is. One says the sun god isn't a ruler and he's a god of liberation. Another one says he's the god of destruction, and then the third says he's the god of laughter. And then this turns the giants into a full-on brawl, to which Yorl begins to explain to Luffy that Elbaf is home to an ancient religious text known as the Harley, and because it is so ancient, there are many interpretations of it, and that because it continues to be passed down with no translations, the text has been going through a lot of different revisions, and now everybody has different stories. The one constant apparently is that the world has twice been destroyed in the past, and in each case the presence of Nika the sun god is closely tied to it.
That was crazy.
That is a crazy reveal.
Yeah, that was genuinely like world altering type shit.
Yeah.
What, bro?
Wait, quick question, guys. What are the chances that the Harley text that he's talking about is actually just a poneglyph?
I think very low. I think.
Really?
Yeah, because it's not very low, I guess, because maybe the poneglyph and the void century could have talked about the first time. Because I'm assuming the second time the world was destroyed was the void century. I'm assuming that at least.
Yes.
So it could be the case that the void century and the poneglyphs are talking about the time before it, which I guess is possible. The reason I don't think it's possible is because no one can translate it anymore, and like Saul can read the poneglyphs, it seems, right? If he has all the Ohara texts. So I think it might be even before that.
Damn.
This is crazy.
That's crazy.
This is crazy. I can't lie.
Genuinely fucking nuts.
You want to say something? Or?
Yeah. Mod.
Oh no. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that a lot of stuff. Okay, we talked about a few things of like that were kind of crazy, but like the fact that they were even like arguing about what the sun god is very interesting. And there's more in the next page, but one thing I'll say about the fact that the world was destroyed once before, I think that I was never sure if Oda would go into detail about like pre-void century stuff and why that was important, because on the moon the NL saw the pictograph of the people coming from maybe the moon to Earth or whatever,
right,
the different Skypiea tribes. So stuff before obviously matters, but it seems like we're really gonna get into that, which is crazy. And there's a few things like that we know about from before the void century. We know that the tree of Ohara was like 4,000 years old or 2,000 years old. We know that Alabasta as a country existed for like at least 1,000 or 2,000 years. So
right.
It seems like we have a few things, but man, we might really get some big lore about the world before the Void Century, which is crazy.
Yeah, I never thought that we would get to this point where lore past the Void Century was like, a thing. So I already thought that like 800 years, 900 years, or whatever it is like already a pretty, you know what I mean? It's a pretty strong like plot line for things to happen in a current story and stuff like that. But damn, past that point. Huh. I wonder because I knew we were going to get a Void Century flashback, but now I'm wondering if we're going to get a flashback to even before then, the first time that the world was destroyed.
I think another thing that's interesting about this is it kind of puts to rest any idea that it confirms basically that Joy Boy had the Nika fruit, and it wasn't just him. I think the fact that Nika existed, that we have clear evidence that Nika existed before him, is a big proof that he probably just had the fruit.
Yes, but I was gonna say that as well. It looks like Nika precedents a lot of the world history that we already know.
Yeah, and so that means so I think that it wasn't like an instance where someone else had the devil fruit before. I think I'm kind of thinking that there might have been a figure like the original Nika,
I agree with
or
you.
whoever, and then at some point during the times of the Void Century, or maybe a little before then, people people were like dreaming, wishing that Nika would be back, and then that's where the devil fruit came in, because I think that that's what the whole point of the Vegapunk explanation about devil fruits that spawn, or devil fruits, how they come into play. So if enough people wish it, it'll come to be. So I think Joy Boy was probably the first with that devil fruit, but the first Nika like officially was probably like predates.
Yeah, that was probably the dude himself. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Definitely a huge drop. This arc we're gonna get so much lore this arc.
I'm telling you, man,
I think this is where it's really gonna start feeling like the end. I can't lie. This might be where
we're talking about
feeling like it.
We're talking about Nika before the Void Century. Like, what is going on? This is kind of surreal. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, so they mentioned Nika, and Luffy remembers that Bonnie was talking about Nika last arc. You all
I think we might have skipped over the idea of the dichotomy of Nika, like the destroyer.
Oh, I thought I talked about it. Yeah, so the Yoro goes on after he says that Nika is tied to the world being destroyed twice in the past. He goes on to say, is he the hero who appeared to save the world, the destroyer who lays waste to all, and that he appears when the world is about to undergo a great transformation. Therefore, the great and mighty of the day always fear Nika's arrival. So I guess this would lead into one of the main conversations that's been happening over the weekend, in which a lot of people are speculating that maybe there are two Nika fruits, which is why people have different translations of who or what Nika was. People are theorizing that one of the fruits is the liberation fruit, and then the other fruit is the destruction fruit. And I've seen some people go as far as to say that possibly Loki's fruit is the destruction Nika fruit. What do you guys make of it? I'm not the biggest fan of the theory. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not. I'm not tied to it. I can see the train of thought. But I feel like it's tied more to the mistranslations, and because I feel like it's more tied to Nika being such an old figure. We're finding out that he has probably existed since before the Void Century. So however many years that is, I feel like because he's been through so many generations, there's so many mistranslations, that's why people are getting confused as to who or what Nika exactly was, as opposed to there being two different Nikas doing two different things at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think I agree with you, Callie. I'm not now keep in mind, I'm not opposed to like there being a second Nika fruit. Like if that's what it is what it is. I don't feel, one way or the other about that. But I do like lean more towards like a translation error, because like you said, like it was so long ago that it's possible for anyone, good or bad, to misinterpret, what happened in the past. And because it is such an old language that no one understands anymore, it's too difficult to call, right? And then that's why Vegapunk, when he was talking about the world history of the second time, I'm assuming, which is the second time that the world was destroyed, you know, he was talking about how we don't know if like if either parties that were involved in the Great War that caused that to happen were good or bad. We don't know nothing about
Right.
that.
Mhm.
And then so on top of that, Nika, it's just that Nika was tied into both events that caused the world to be destroyed. So I think it's only natural to feel like, okay, well, Nika was there both times that the world was being destroyed. Maybe he's not as good of a figure. Maybe he's not per se malicious, but he's all about, bringing destruction to the world to change things. Because depending on how you interpret it, right? There's godly, there's religious, there's some religions or some like scriptures of different faiths and stuff that believe that destruction brings,
Healing.
healing. Destruction brings healing, life begins anew after, things come tumbling down. Even hell, even some Christian stuff has that, like, Armageddon
Apocalypse, right?
and
Yeah.
apocalypse and stuff. The world is going to be destroyed, and
Right.
the good ones will, whatever, Earth's going to be, so that stuff is normal. So depending on the side of the coin that you believe with Nika, maybe that's what the side you believe, because of the fact that the world keeps being destroyed, and then it seems like they go into a long state of peace, or quote unquote peace. I'll say quote peace. But yeah, so that's why I'm probably, I lean more to like what you're talking about, Callie, because I think that's more pragmatic to the situation.
Pragmatic is a great word. That is literally the feeling that I feel.
I definitely understand. But I think like the crux of it is what Vegapunk talking about, with how it's all about how what people see, and if there is a good amount of people who can see that in their perspective or from what they've heard, Nika is a destroyer, and there's nothing good about him. I could see how that could birth a whole new legend that results in a new devil fruit. If we believe what Vegapunk said about how they're created. So yeah, I believe like the mechanisms of it all make perfect sense. Like it could happen that way based on what we've heard. But
Yeah.
um, I also think that like there's a lot of fascination about becoming the sun god here in Elbaf, and Loki's. I mean, he says it, I think, towards the end of the chapter, like, and he said it earlier. In this whole chapter, everyone's like, yeah, I want to be a sun god. I want to be a sun god. That's everyone's dream. And even on the next page, I think Yoro talks about how you can't blame Loki, or not that you can't blame Loki, but maybe Loki, all his actions were in a pursuit of becoming the sun god or something like that. And everyone's like, oh, don't give him any chances or whatever, or excuses. And another thing that I think is an interesting thing to point out is that this devil fruit that's been passed down of the kings of Elbaf is some sort of legendary fruit. It took all the giants of Elbaf to even try to stop Loki, and then eventually it took Shanks, right?
Yeah.
So, and with all the sun god stuff that he's been saying, I am the sun god. Like, does he think that because of the fruit that he got, maybe, from killing his dad, if he even did that? So I think it holds a lot of water. I'm not one way or the other, but I think it holds a lot of water, is what I'm trying to say.
The only reason why I'm a little bit against it, I mean, maybe we could see later on in the more of the coming chapters. So this might be a little bit predated for me to call this here, but I feel like if that was the case, that he has like some type of either like I don't know, dark Nika fruit or destruction Nika fruit, whatever it is, that I feel like we would have seen Loki's followers. You know what I mean? Or people that like giants here, because I mean they made it clear. He made it clear that even like good giants still could think that like not Loki, but Nika is like a destruction god or something like that, right? So I feel like if that was the case, if people genuinely believe like, okay, he has the fruit, so therefore he's him, so we follow him. We haven't seen that yet in terms of like giants that shift or like that have some type of perceived, you know what I mean, like perceived notion of impression of Loki. All we've seen is like kind of a unanimous Loki is the scum of the earth type thing, like unanimously. So I feel like if he did have that, we would just see a little bit more of a, you know what I mean, like a little bit more of a foreshadowing of some type of conspiratorial mutiny or some type of like, rebellion or something like that, because people who believe that that's what Nika is and that Loki is fulfilling that would have been like, hold on, this is wrong. We're taking up, nah, screw all this. We're busting Loki out. We're taking over Elbaf type thing. And then again, it could happen. That could be something that happens later on. So this might be a little bit of a predated thing, but still, I don't get the sentiment that that's what's happening here, in my personal opinion.
I actually agree completely in the sense that the biggest point against the idea of Loki having a Nika fruit is that the giants act like they've never seen, they don't know who Nika is or what he's doing, or you know what I mean, like they act like Luffy's the only person that looks like him. They don't talk about the fruit as the Nika fruit or whatever. They just talk about it. Though I will say, obviously, that comes with the exact same thing that happened with Luffy's Gum Gum fruit, right? It being shadowed and destroyed from history because of the world government or whatever. I think.
I'm sorry. I also.
I wasn't gonna say much. Don't worry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just also feel like that's part of why I feel as if I feel like they already did the surprise reveal once with Luffy's fruit. I think doing it again would definitely be a little bit oh my god, it starts with an R.
Repetitive.
It's not repetitive, but yes, repetitive. Redundant. Thank you.
Okay, that's fair.
The wordsmith.
I saw a pretty interesting theory by everyone's favorite, Mr. Morge, and it was that Blackbeard is going to, in all the chaos of Elbaf, he might pull up and kill Loki and take his fruit, and that will be the setup for Luffy and Blackbeard to have opposite Nika fruits, which I thought was pretty interesting.
It could be the case. I mean, we still don't know what Loki's fruit is, and it seems like it's a fruit that's fitting for like a warrior type or like a. Because I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. Loki looks like he's strong as hell, right?
Yeah.
Like design wise, his the way he's talked about and everything. And didn't someone say something about like what his bounty would be or something like that?
We literally know he has a special government bounty of 2.6 billion.
Yeah, 2.6 billion. Like that's
double
like
Zoros, like double Marcos, like
right. Like this dude is like Yonko territory of like type of bounty. So I mean, I could definitely see that his fruit might be like something cold, something crazy, and Blackbeard will want to take it. Now, if it's like a second Nika fruit that's like a dark Nika or something like that, or a reverse Nika, whatever it is, I don't know. It could be. it might be.
Yo,
but
if Gear 6 death ends up becoming a real thing on the evil Nika fruit, I'm gonna be so annoyed, yo.
That'd be so funny.
Holy hell.
What if it's because like you remember the Blackbeard Cerberus theory? Yeah, like, and Cerberus is the god of the not god but guardian of the underworld or whatever for Hades. And so like, what if it was a reverse Nika fruit that he got, but since he got 3 double fruits and darkness and everything, the theme of that, what if the gear was called Gear 666? Like
Yo, bro.
that would be crazy.
Yo, bro, you've been on Reddit too much, dude. That was nuts.
I'm crying, bro.
That was crazy, bro.
Oh man, yeah, you're right.
Nah, you went crazy with that one, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I respect it though.
Oh man, I like that idea. I think I would serve it for it to be less redundant. I think the fact that the Holy Knights are here for him, and they have an offer for him later, I think is interesting. Is like, why is that, right? I mean, we know he's strong, but you don't just offer any strong person. Everyone would have got an invite if it was just about being strong, right? So I'm not gonna say I believe in it or in the theory, but I definitely think it's very possible, but we'll just have to see as always.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Nothing to do but to keep on keeping on. Yeah. So, Yoro had this conversation with Luffy. Like I said before, Luffy remembered Monty talking about Nico and Egghead. Yoro went on to say, because he is the god of the sun, it is those without hope who seek him the most. Nika wears white clouds around him and appears with white hair, clothes, and jolly laughter. It's when Luffy's like, that's why everybody says I look like him, but I don't got shit to do with me. Like, what are y'all talking about? W innocent Luffy. The Giants tell Luffy not to ruin the fun, and how everybody in Elbaf idolizes Nika growing up. Even then, they say even though Roto was being extra. And then Yoro goes on to talk about Loki, and that even Loki and the late Herald talking about the king are the results of attempting to be Nika. So basically all these giants idolize and look up to and want to become the sun god in their legends. So Luffy innocently asks, is Loki a good guy? And everybody's like, hell no. They talk about how he's the accursed prince, and that even before his birth, King Harold prophesied that he would be killed by his own son. Surely,
that was a big change.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That he was the one who prophesized instead of Ichiro was just prophesized.
Right.
But we can't. There's only so much we can do with that, right? Even
right.
Now we know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He said shortly after Loki was born, he killed the royal family's lucky horse. And that was the same year that Lin, Big Mom, killed Chief Joro, the legendary warrior. So
so this guy's Jarl. Now that I know, that was Jarl that died, this old guy's Jarl, just to be clear on his name.
Wait. Are you saying two different names right now?
Yes.
Jarl and Jarl.
And Jarl.
Yo,
yeah.
I'm about to scream. Okay.
Hey, that's Otis' fault, not mine.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, the same year that Big Mom killed one of the giants, the country was beset by natural disasters, and the queen passed just a year after giving birth to Loki. So all this happened within a year of Loki being born. This is when he made the underworld his playground and began to kill and control all the animals down there, and would even unleash them on the villages at just 10 years old. They said that his many pranks threatened their lives, including arson and devastation. And between his status as a prince and his cruel personality, he made their lives hell whenever King Harold was away. They say, and then worst of all, he ended up killing Harold, the greatest king in Elbaf history, right inside his own castle. Talk about how the king was kind and radiant and tried to connect the country to the world. And how Chief Jarl, no, this is the same name. Jorl and Jarl, instead that's not the same name. I'm sorry, this shit is pissing me off. They say Chief Jarl tried to stop Loki, but ended up getting stabbed in the head. He says the helmet saved his life, to which Luffy proclaims that the helmet didn't do anything. The sword is still in your head, man. He then talks about how 6 years ago, Red Hair caught Loki rampaging at sea. Um, Luffy, of course, gets excited about Shanks. It says he heard Shanks is here, and then the Giants say he was here a while ago, but he doesn't know. They don't know where he went. See Zoro pondering some more, and then from this point, we cut to the outskirts of town. The Straw Hats have left the party abruptly. Zoro says he thought it was weird how fidgety Luffy was, and how this explains it. How that guy killed the king, the whole country hates him. Obviously, everything he told you was a lie. So Luffy has at this point, I guess, told the Straw Hats what Loki told him, whatever that was.
I think right now it's just him and Zoro, by the way.
Is it just him and Zoro?
Yeah, I don't think we know anyone else is around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nami pulls up next page, I think.
Okay. So he tells Zoro at the very least. Luffy fights back that he says he knows where that Loki said he knows where Shanks was, and he wants to see him really badly. Zoro says, I know, man. You talk about it all the time. But Loki's taking advantage of you. So they go back and forth a little bit more. Zoro doesn't believe Loki. Luffy really wants to believe him. And he says if he's lying, he'll just beat him up instead. So how do you guys feel right now about Loki with everything given in terms of his promise to Luffy? Do you guys think that he's lying?
No.
Because right now I'm torn between this guy Loki genuinely not being what he says he is, and Luffy's judge of character. Because we know Luffy has amazing judge of character majority of the time.
Yeah.
But it's really hard, man. I'm not gonna lie, it's tough.
I think I just think there's a lot of mystery surrounding what happened to King Harold. And I definitely have drank the Kool-Aid on the theory that Loki was probably framed, potentially by the God's Knights. And he didn't kill Harold. So that's kind of the perspective I'm coming at it from. And there was a thing that when he was on the phone with that person Mosa, and they were calling him, or I think maybe that the official might have called him Shaggy, where Shaggy called him kind. Yeah. Under all the bravado. And I think at the end of the chapter also shows Loki's a real ass nigga.
True. Yeah.
I definitely believe him.
That's fair. I've seen some people talking about how Luffy may be blinded by his attachment to Shanks here.
I guess that's true.
It's possible.
But you do bring up a good point talking about the other guy talking to him on the transponder still, how he specifically went out his way to say that you're kind. Even though Loki disregarded it. If two people see something in you, then it can't just be coincidence.
And if one of them's Luffy,
that's definitely a big boost on your side for sure.
Yeah.
What?
I was gonna say that, like, yeah, his character to me doesn't, as we get to know more and more, it don't feel as malicious or as potentially like dangerous as like when we first met him. Because I gotta say, that first time we ever seen him, that panel was crazy looking. I was like, this dude should not be talked to. This dude should not be messed with. This dude will fuck you up. But as I get to know him, he like his honor code and everything like that. I kind of like him. I kind of mess with him. I just hope that, dear God, he's not lying. Like, because that would be a damn shame. Mm-hmm. But the only thing is that, like, why would he call Shanks a coward, yet he's willing to give like his location to Luffy? But the thing is, like, how would he know that? Because if he's on bad terms with Shanks, it's not like Shanks would talk to him. And it seems like Shanks was on like the upper part of Elbaf most of the time. Like, unless Shanks comes down to talk to him or something. Maybe.
I think we know they did because when Luffy meets Loki and those human followers of his appear, they apologize to Loki for bailing because they didn't expect Shanks to come.
Oh.
So Shanks definitely stopped by to talk to Loki, told him where he was going, maybe, which is very interesting. If we believe that Loki's telling the truth, obviously, which I'm inclined to believe. So yeah, for some reason Shanks talked to him, and I think the cowardness, I don't think it comes from him losing to him 6 years ago. I think he's maybe talking about the guy that
the other guy, right?
brother.
That's what I was assuming. That's what I've honestly been assuming for the most part.
In the last page, when they show King Harold on the throne, there appears, if you could turn to it, Callie, it appears like there's like black lightning, in like the bottom of that panel, like near his left elbow. All right.
Yeah.
Am I tweaking? I think that might be Oda showing us the first time the God's appeared and killed him.
Okay, I do see the lightning.
He also did die on the throne because the throne had a big gash mark in it when we saw it when the God's Knights appeared. And the fact that God's Knights were able to summon right on top of that location is very interesting to me. And maybe like they marked it somehow, like Kuma being able to go back to places he's been with his Devil Fruit. Anyway, so I think that could be the case, but I do think they don't really have. It doesn't seem like they, like the way they're talking now. It doesn't seem like they know each other at the end of the chapter. So I don't know. It's all up in the air, but I definitely am inclined to believe he did not kill Harold, and he's being framed or something.
Yeah, I'm with that. I'm definitely with that.
I'm fine with that.
With that train of thought.
My little Hail Mary tidbit about this is that this guy Jarl, or I don't know which one he is honestly at this point, but this guy that has the sword in his head, like the fact that his testimony is that he stopped Loki and he got stabbed. First off, you're the oldest person in the fucking world. Your brain is mush, and it has a fucking sword in it. Why would I believe anything you say? I'm not saying he's lying, but I'm just saying maybe he doesn't remember it all that well.
Right.
So we can't really take that as, I don't really take it as fact as like, oh, that means Loki had to have been the one to kill Harold. But yeah, that's my ideas on that, Loki.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah, so Nami pulls up after the fact. She's wondering why they were sneaking around. Like, have you ever gone anywhere without me? Like, what are y'all doing?
Yo, facts.
She's so real
Actually,
for that.
facts.
Yeah, she's real for that. So Zoro talks about getting the key, so I feel like Nami has to know something at this point.
I think they must have caught her up between then and right now.
Yeah, because Zoro talks about getting the keys to his cuffs, but we're gonna decide if he's telling the truth or not. So I guess the three of them are on the mission. Well, four of them, because Roto's there as well, which Luffy asks about, and Nami says he's my servant now. We get Zeus pop out and say he's servant number 1 and Sanji's servant number 2, so you're number 3 by default.
Crazy.
I guess Sanji's getting his respect. I guess they're all on the same page.
Go ahead.
I think what's his name? I know I talked about it earlier, and I said I might be predated for saying this, but I think it's kind of weird that he's coming along. I'm not gonna lie.
It's interesting. I was just thinking that.
Yeah, like it's very random in my opinion. Even with like the explanation they given, and with everything is just him of all people is weird because he's already proven to be shiesty in the past.
Yeah.
So, and I think he's one of the people that believe that in the destruction interpretation of Sun God Nika.
Yeah,
so
he specifically viewed it as ruling the world, right? Which I think might have been a bit of an anomaly, honestly. He might have been the only person that said, yeah. But he's like, yeah, I want to be the Sun God and rule the world. And everyone else was like, oh no, he's liberation. Oh no, he's God of destruction. But yeah, so yeah, I agree with completely. He's like, there's something with him and the Sun God, and he's split up to see Loki.
Right, and then on top of that, he's not trying to stop them from doing that. Like you notice, everybody else was just like, nah, Loki's terrible. Nah, Loki's trash. I never seen him say one thing. Like, and now he's casually like, helping them go on this trip to go see Loki. Yeah, this seems real sus to me.
On the point of him and what he's doing, I think like his lack of protest, I would attribute to the Nami thing. him being the servant or whatever. But I think like the reason he's here in like a meta narrative sense definitely has to do with the sun god stuff. Because okay, now that we know that all the giants have, you know, like some sort of, you know, drive to be kind of like Nika is pretty interesting. But he was the first person that we saw have this drive, and he had that weird mask on. He had like the staff or whatever. Like he was on some next shit. So I think that, yeah, I agree with you that it's interesting that he has this weird fascination with the sun god, and who knows, maybe both of them might get to see the real sun god when Luffy fights King's brother if they cross paths. Who knows?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with the meta narrative sense. They need somebody who's a giant to explain what's going on, so not just wandering, to provide context. But yeah, you can see he is obviously smitten by Nami, trying to get close to her, talking about how they're both navigators. To which he says, "Never try to close the distance between us again." Like, not having none of it.
Using that as a pickup line, you know, Nami, I'm a navigator too.
Yo, he got no riz. That's tough.
A lot in common is crazy, and then starting with your job. Well, like,
yeah, that is nuts. Yeah, no riz at all. Nami says she feels bad that they're leaving the party, to which Rodo says that they're all hammered now. They won't even remember what the feast was for. Then Nami says it's such a shame that the treasure in the castle will also disappear. So they're like, that's why you're here, Nami. Yeah, and then she gets the money eyes. Classic Nami shenanigans. But anyway, they're headed to the castle. So, yeah, they're headed to the castle now. So we'll see what happens with them. Probably next chapter, because we're going to the underworld to close this chapter out. We get some laughing and someone saying, so that's what this is about. That's someone being Loki. He says, I take your point, and in that case, I refuse. You think I'm gonna spend the one life I have stooping to the level of trash? Thanks for the invitation to the most noble knighthood in the world. So what are you then? Celestial dragons? And we see he's talking to the two shadowy figures from earlier. They speak to each other. The Shanks twin says, where's the intel from? The other one says the agents dispatched to Elbaf sent one last transmission that a giant crow had appeared. Nothing since then. We don't have any dirt on them. But now that I hear him for myself, he is supremely insolent. We should simply erase him. And we get the full reveal of the first Holy Knight, Gunko. Very interesting design. Her arm is turning into like a spiral arrow rope thing. And of note, her speech bubble is covering the left half of the other one's face, as is the other panel he's in. The hood is covering the left half of his face. There's something there. There's something there. There's got to be something there for sure.
I wonder if Oda is trying to keep the facade alive that this might be Shanks. I mean, technically, by the way, we've never ruled it out.
Ain't no way this is still Shanks. Because
I agree. I completely agree.
The fact that, like, and mind you, it could be just the fact that, like, we're not looking at it from his perspective. So from his perspective, they might be too shadowy to tell who they exactly are outside of her now, because she revealed herself. But this guy, probably not. But he could, but I feel like he, you know what I mean? Like, he can see enough.
Like, how do you not see?
Yeah, like, you know, like,
but there are tiny humans to him. Who knows?
True.
And even if he knows Shanks, he should have known. I guess we established that he was probably confused. Even if he met this guy before too, when they might have killed Harold. Yeah. So yeah, I it's weird. I just think it's weird that, like, it would be weird if, I think what would be, because his face having a different mark than Shanks is weird. I just expect it to be clear, right, and not having this.
Right, but I feel like if that was, but you know, that is true. So if there wasn't something to hide, I feel like his face would have been shown already.
We already have enough circumstantial evidence that this is not Shanks. Shanks was apparently not, just here.
Right.
We just saw him with, his crew after they went after Bartolomeo.
I know
Um,
some people are theorizing that this could possibly be the man with the burn scar, and the burn scar is over the left side of his face, which is why it's being hidden.
yes, I think that actually makes a lot of sense because I do think him being the guy with the, I think him being the man with flames also is like a very real possibility. So
Right, because I think that was part of it. We've said it before that the last poneglyph might be in possession of the Marines.
yeah, what's his name? Shiryu.
Yeah.
I guessed it.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's actually pretty fair.
Yeah.
So yeah. If I was to take a guess, I would assume that that's why his face is being covered. But you know, you never know. You still never know. Yeah. So Gonko says she just wants to kill Loki. And that's when the giant dog pops up, getting ready to attack. Just real quick. We don't got to spend too much time on it, but just because it was a pretty big discussion over the week, a lot of people have been dissing Gunko's design. They say it's extremely fan servicey, and calling out Oda on his design.
I think it just looks weird in the sense of like, she's wearing a coat and a
Long sleeve
cape.
jacket, cape
yeah.
thing.
I just think it doesn't really match. I mean, Oda having corny designs is nothing new, obviously. So yeah, I don't think I saw all the stuff on that people talking about, but like it's nothing new, man. Like,
yeah, for sure. I definitely was not phased by legs panties showing. Like, this is Oda. Like, I know what I'm in for when I'm reading One Piece.
Yeah,
but I do agree that the design looks a little funky for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it doesn't match, which is like kind of weird for Oda.
Rare miss, I fear.
Yeah, one thing I will say, I saw the funniest meme. You guys know that Rick Ross meme is like empowering and put on a shirt, nigga.
Yeah.
It was her and Frankie, and Frankie was empowering, and hers was put on a shirt, nigga. That killed me.
Yeah, because that was one of the things that I saw a lot this weekend, is that he only draws women this way, and I just thought of like 5 male characters off the top of my head that rock speedos and have their shirts off the entire time.
This Loki doesn't have a shirt on right now.
Touche. Yeah.
I mean, that is. I will say though, it's very fair to have a problem with how Oda draws women.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, so the dog comes up, tries to press the 2 holy knights. Loki tells him to gobble them up. Gunko is like, hey, you just breathed on me. And then with a twist snap of her fingers, the arrow rope, whatever power she has, ties the dog by his neck and basically hangs him. It's pretty rough.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, this is pretty graphic, I can't lie. He's got the dog by his neck hanging in the air. The other holy knight says, if we offer to spare its life, would that change your mind? Loki says, you're offering me a deal? If that's the case, your fate is sealed, my friend. Die and be at peace. I'll be sad as well as angry, but a warrior doesn't quibble and whine about his way of death. Instead, I'll feed on this rage and use it to bring the world to ruin. Hard ass bar. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, that was
hard ass.
Absolutely tough.
My Loki stocks definitely went up after this chapter. I can't lie.
Yeah, I was like, that's like some hood ass like.
Yeah.
Right, like born to die type shit. That was like some stuff Oda I feel like doesn't give to like scum. Like this is like a this guy's understands. Because you can never. And I think it's really interesting that so-called scum who would kill his own father has a problem with celestial dragons.
True.
Like,
True.
Where's moral compass coming from, right? If you killed your own dad for power,
right?
So yeah, I think Oda's trying to like tell like, oh, is Loki really a bad guy? So yeah, I think that was crazy. I think this girl's ability is insane.
Yeah,
like it seems nuts. Like the arrow is like a vector of like a direction, or like it pointed upwards, so like it was moving upwards, something like that. Like,
but it's also insane. Rope, so like,
yeah,
that's pretty nuts. So you can tie stuff and then move it in whatever direction you want. That's fucking crazy. That reminds me of I'm sorry.
No problem. I was gonna say when she attacked the giant when they first got to the castle, it was small. I don't know if we talked about it in the episode, but so she attacks the giant. It looks like she shoots something out of her robe or whatever. And then when the giant is on his knees, like screaming in pain, you can see that it looks to be like mummy bandages around his bicep and his upper leg, which weren't there previously. So it seems like the ropes can also like cause some sort of pain. Like the guy almost seems like he was like burning up or whatever. Yeah, her ability is nuts. Her eyes are also really, really weird.
Yeah, she has the two different colored eyes.
Yeah.
Very peculiar indeed. What do we make about the gods, knights, holy knights trying to possibly recruit Loki?
That's a weird one.
This is weird, especially if we think that they may have killed King Harold.
Right. Well.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one. It's hard.
Yeah,
it's
I
hard.
don't know, especially if Loki knows who actually killed him, and we suspect that it's, like the world government or whoever. If he knows that that's who killed him, I don't see why they would think that this will even work. So I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he don't actually know kill King Harold. Maybe that's possible.
Yeah, I feel like the way that he responded to the Holy Knights, it kind of seemed like he didn't necessarily know about their group specifically.
Yeah.
So I feel like he probably wouldn't have known it was them necessarily that killed him if we're going on that assumption.
Right.
But yeah, he does. We know that he does think lowly of celestial dragons, and I'm assuming the world government by default. Yeah, this is hard. This is a big cliffhanger.
Yeah, I feel like we have like small pieces of the puzzle, but not enough to like connect the corner or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but we did get a little bit more. But honestly, yeah, I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to think, but honestly, we really don't have enough. That's all it is. We really just don't have enough yet.
I'm trying to think of anything else I might have talked about during the week. The one thing I will say is that her little arrow thing looks kind of similar to the thing that attacked Cobra when Emu, when he was in front of Emu and them. Like, there was like an arrow that went through his,
You're right.
his, like,
I forgot about
stomach.
that. That's a good point.
It seemed like Emu did that though, so I don't know.
So if that's the case, no, yeah, I feel like this has to be a devil fruit, I would assume.
Most likely, yeah.
Probably. Yeah, it feels more devil fruitish than what the girls they were doing. Honestly.
Yeah. And I think the Gorse's one were black too. I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
it seems like it's a whiter color or something like that.
Yeah. One thing that's all I have to say about these guys for now.
Yeah.
I think off the top of my head. But when they talk about Loki's escapades as a kid or whatever, when they said on the arson panel, if you want to go back to that, Callie, he's making a very interesting pose. Bottom left right there.
Oh, this is the Gear 5 laugh.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting. Kind
that
of
is
more
interesting.
about the sun, more of the sun god stuff or whatever.
Yeah, that would definitely that definitely adds a little more credence to the double fruit theory. That's interesting. I didn't notice that. I didn't really pay attention to his pose necessarily before.
Yeah, my boy sent me that the other day or whatever.
That's definitely interesting.
But yeah, no, I think that's honestly all I have to say about the chapter.
Yeah. We definitely went through a lot. We talked about a lot of the beginning more than the second half, only because we still need more info. But
yeah,
definitely a great chapter to come back on.
Is there a break?
No break next week. We are back, baby.
Nice. Yes,
we are back. Yeah, definitely looking forward to next week, to the next chapter, to see where this goes from here. I feel like things are starting to actually ramp up. I think it's going to start getting up from here. We're going to see a lot of things starting to move quickly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I guess that'll be it for this episode. Big shout outs to everybody in chat that was hanging out with us. We appreciate you guys. Big shout outs to Kevin on YouTube chat. We appreciate you, man. Everybody in the Twitch chat as well. Make sure you guys watch every Sunday on twitch.tv/Cali_Mac or YouTube at Strawhat Sitdown. Big shout outs to everybody watching this after the fact on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, etc. We appreciate you guys as well. Make sure you guys follow us on all our socials at Strawhat Sitdown on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. You look for us, you will find us. That'll be it for us. We'll be back next week with the chapter review. Mr. G will also be back. Looking forward to that. The boys return. But yeah, until then, you guys, take it easy, be safe, be healthy. We appreciate you guys, and we will see y'all when we see y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Strawhat Sitdown crew in the building. We Corona to these other podcasts. We gon' put these people in their feelings when they hear this, and they know that they can't top this. We spit facts and we poppin'. Every time an episode is dropping, we see D3 in the corner. Mister, that's a real G with the green screen in the background. Got him looking like he in a real scene. We got Big Mod in the cut. Always ready with rebuttals, but he bring the knowledge when we in the huddle, so you know the crew is never gonna fumble. And it's wild huss, last but not least. If you ask me, then Cali, mad the captain, make him rally around me. Every Sunday we gon' run deep, and we can't stop until we find out about that one piece. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We